We pull no punches. Press the button, subscribe.
Fight fans, welcome. Yesterday I released a video where all us fans were wondering what was going on with Boxxer. They were giving us all the silent treatment and their fighters too. Well, it looks like now a deal is done. It's all announced. It is sealed. Boxxer have joined forces with the BBC. The BBC is back in boxing live on terrestrial TV for the first time in 25 years. Ben Shalom and Boxxer are breaking the mould, and we'd all like to say big time boxing is back on the BBC and terrestrial TV. But will it be that? Let's have a look at the facts. Boxxer have signed a multi-year deal with the BBC. Events will be aired on BBC, iPlayer and the sports website. Dates and headlines to be announced in the coming weeks. The first event is expected within 7 weeks' time on BBC TV. For me, BBC One is the main production of the BBC primetime big time boxing back on terrestrial TV slot. That's what it would always be. Originally, the rumours were that it was going to be on BBC Two. This would have begged the question of what type of calibre of events would we have actually seen if it was going to be going forward on BBC Two, because for me that is always the second channel. Why would you want this? You'd want it on the first channel, BBC One primetime TV. Ben Shalom has stated today that content on Fight Week will be on the BBC iPlayer, so you will be pushing the red button on your remote while it buffers. You will then get your content you are wishing to see. Not that you don't have that on DAZN anyway. I presume it will be some kind of undercard style thing on the iPlayer building up to the main fights on BBC One, which it looks like we are going to get on BBC One. And Ben Shalom has also stated on TalkSport today that the boxing will be followed by match of the day. So this would suggest that all on one channel, you'll have some weeks boxing on a Saturday night on the BBC One channel, and then you'll have match of the day following. I mean, for multi-sports fans like me, I like the football, I love the boxing. That could be a dream Saturday night for a lot of people, which is a very, very good move. Very, very solid move by Ben Shalom and Boxxer. But also, are they going to be able to keep their stars of the roster with this kind of deal money-wise? Can we see the big names like Ben Whittaker, Adam Azim, Lauren Price, Natasha Jonas, Caroline Dubois, Fraser Clark, just to name a few, other fighters, Jack Massey? Are they going to be able to have the big names on the BBC, or are they going to be smaller hall shows? That's the questions we're asking. But Ben Shalom, the way he was talking on TalkSport today, is saying that we are going to pretty much have what we had on Sky, which will be very, very interesting to see whether he can follow this through. I'm not quite sure that will be the case. If we don't get the Sky type shows on the BBC, what are the big stars going to do? They won't be hanging around, and they could be snapped up no problem by the likes of Queensbury, Matchroom. Frank Warren and Eddie Hearn are probably lurking now as we speak by looking at this deal, because even though there's some pros, there's a lot of cons as well. We're going to try and analyse them all while I'm here. But more news this afternoon as well, which is quite an intriguing one, is Ben Shalom has said that there will still be pay-per-view. It will still be active for the bigger stars and the bigger fights. And they've only signed a free-to-air deal. So the pay-per-view scene will work, but how will it work and what platform will it be on? This is going to be a very, very tricky one. And how many pay-per-view shows will there be? And what stars of the roster will only be on pay-per-view? This is sort of things we still don't know enough about yet with this deal. Or does he mean boxer fighters will be on Saudi shows and supported by Turki Al Sheikh? Is that what Ben Shalom really means? But could this be a genius move by Ben Shalom, moving boxing back to terrestrial TV, like the good old days. Channel 5 have it now, but let's be honest with Channel 5. It's a very, very mediocre product. It's pretty average at best. The whole production I'm speaking about, I'm not talking about certain fights we've seen. The whole production, you get like an hour and a half slot, and then the rest is like how iPlayer would be, but BBC, you presume, would have more fights on their main broadcast. But being with the BBC will definitely bring more eyes on the sport for sure. This is only a good thing. If the big stars decide they want out, there's a chance. This is a chance for boxing now to grow fresh young talent and build them. Where there'll be more eyes on them on terrestrial TV. It's only a good thing. And if the budget isn't great for the big fighters to keep the big stars, this could be the perfect time for up and coming boxers to join Boxxer. But the product has to be good for the eyes to be on Boxxer, even on terrestrial TV. And they have to start with a bang, and they have to start well. Ben Shalom has promised a spectacular first event, so let's hope that can be lived up to. My fingers are crossed for it. I live in hope. That is my doubt with it, though. I'm concerned Boxxer will not be able to keep up with their stars with a deal like this. Are BBC going to have the amount of money to be able to produce for the big stars of Boxxer? And also, a deal like this, with what I deem boxing casuals who follow the names of boxing, will they tune in to the smaller shows on the BBC where, with the more eyes they're trying to get on the sport, you have to have the product? Whereas boxing casuals like the names, not just the product. And I think you have to have a balance with a TV network. I think you have to have a mixture of upcoming stars and also a bunch of real serious stars in your product. And this is where I think, in my opinion, a dedicated sports channel is the best. I just think it's an all-round better platform. The way DAZN now, Eddie Hearn, Frank Warren on DAZN, I just think all-round that is the best way to go. And I would have liked to have seen that for Boxxer and Ben Shalom. The questions going forward will be answered. A multi-year deal suggests this is a process which they think will take time and can work. The original rumoured article of a 12-month deal would have suggested a trial and error process. 12 months is no long-term deal. This suggests they are aiming for this to work and being it for the long haul. I really hope for boxing and British boxing this succeeds for Ben Shalom and Boxxer. And us fans having them in boxing is only the best for the sport. This is a bold move by Ben Shalom, and I hope he pulls it off, and full props to him for giving this a go after all the critics he's had. Me, at times, being one of them. One thing's for sure, more eyes will be on the sport, being on BBC TV. In the coming days and weeks, I'm sure we'll hear more about the fighters and future plans for them. And let's wait to see what this spectacular first show is all about that we're being promised. That, I quote, Ben Shalom has promised us that. So I hope you're up to date with the situation with Boxxer and the BBC. I hope you've enjoyed my little show here. I just thought I needed to clarify everything from rumours to facts. Ben Shalom, as I said, did join TalkSport today. I'll put that interview in the links in the comments section. And if you can all let me know what are your thoughts, please let me know in the comments section as well. Please like my channel. Please subscribe. I'm enjoying all the new followers I'm having, subscribers on my channel, all the new interaction I'm getting. Thanks for your time, and we'll be back with you very soon.